Hi guys, this is Mrs. Martin here, and I'm going to be teaching you about area because that's what we're going to be doing in math this week is learning how to measure area. So I'm going to switch from my view to show you a few things, and I'll still be talking. But I want you to be able to see what I'm showing you while I'm explaining it, and then I'll come back to the video. Talking about, so this week we're going to be learning about and practicing area in math and measuring area. And area, the vocabulary word, just means that is the amount of space inside of a shape. So that's just the definition of what area means. So here's a shape, and we're going to be measuring the amount of space that's inside of each shape. Couple of other words that we need to know. One of the words is columns, okay? And columns is when we're referring to what we're measuring up and down. These are the columns, okay? It's the vertical or what's running up and down. And then we also need to know the word rows, and rows are going to be horizontal, and that's what we're measuring across from side to side. Okay, so those are some words that you need when you're measuring area. So when we measure area, what you're going to want to do is normally when we would be in the classroom, we would use some square tiles. For second grade measurement and area, we're just going to be using square units to measure with. Today I'm going to measure these rectangles with some square tile units. So when we measure area, some important things to remember are when you're putting the tiles onto whatever it is that you're measuring, you do need to make sure that you are putting the tiles very close together so the sides are actually touching. So we're going to make all the sides touch, and basically you're just going to see how many you can fill inside of that space, that shape or space, how many square units you can fill in that shape or space, and that will be your measurement. Now you want to make sure that the tiles are as close together as possible with no open white space, but you also want to make sure that they're not going over. For example, if I were to add another tile up here, I would end up going over the rectangle, and I don't want to do that. So this is how many rectangles or square units I can fit inside this particular rectangle. So once we do that, then you just count the square units. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I would say that this particular rectangle, if I was going to write a sentence about it, I would say this rectangle is 12 square units. Or the area of this rectangle is 12 square units. Okay, so that's how we would measure area, and that's how we would write a sentence about it and what it equals to. So what you're going to be doing this week is doing lots of measurement of area. I know you don't have square tiles at home, but we are going to be attaching to your lesson this week this page, which is a page of square, basically your own personal square tiles. So hopefully, if you are able to, you can cut those square tiles out. For after you listen to the lesson today, if you're able to download the PDF for this and have mom or dad print it, you're just going to cut all of these little square units out, and then you can use these square units, stick them in a Ziploc baggie, and you can use these square units to go measure things around your house and practice measuring area. Okay? One of the activities this week that you will have has talking about measuring things around your house that already have square units. So I want you to try to find something in your house like a bathroom floor or a kitchen floor that maybe already has tiles. And I want you to, they may be a lot bigger, and I want you to count how many square tiles or how many square units are in that space. And that's one of the activities you'll have assigned this week to practice. Another way you could practice, you could measure with square units, especially if you're not able to print off this square unit page to cut out, is you could just take a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how you can make a big square unit. So you would take a piece of paper, I just have a scratch paper here, and what you do is you fold it like this, take it to the corner, you're going to crease it right there, you're going to crease it right here. So what I've done is I've just made this corner over here touch this side, and then I creased it. You're going to end up with a little piece of paper down here on the bottom, okay? So what you're going to do there is just leave it folded and go ahead and cut that piece off. And if you cut that piece off, once you open that back up, then guess what? You have a square unit. So if mom or dad will let you cut a piece of paper like that to make a big square unit, if you don't have tile or something in your house, then you can just use this square unit to go try and measure a bigger space. So you can use the small units to measure things like maybe a notebook or a book that you're reading and try to cover that with those square units. But if you want to measure something bigger, like your living room or your bedroom, then you can go ahead and make one of these big square units, or make several of these big square units out of scrap paper, and you can use those to measure a larger area. Okay, so that is how you measure area and what area is. You're going to be getting several activities through Seesaw this week to practice area. One of them will be something you actually complete on Seesaw. Another one will be where it's going to tell you to go measure something in your house and then report back to Seesaw what you measured and what the measurement was. And then the last one should be a area word problem, which you'll just solve right there in Seesaw. If you have any questions, I know this video is going out to all second grade classes, so if you have any questions about the assignment or how to do anything, please email your teachers or message your teachers on Seesaw. We will all be having office hours this week and can answer any of your questions and help you out.